The dark circles have set in. The long nights of Labo have begun. We're building cardboard, and actually, it is quite fun. Welcome, one and all, to Rhyme Hour number 57. I'm your host, Zach, and Gabe, you're here. A lot of people take umbrage to the fact that I say you're here because you're always here, and maybe I just should stop saying that you're here, but I'm glad you're here. And we're back with another comment for us. Thanks for all your comments, questions, concerns, theories, thoughts, ideas, insights, and more. Keep those coming. We read them. We love them. We love you. And as we inch closer and closer to 200K, we're ever grateful for your support. We couldn't do this without you, and we love the community we've built. Cannot wait to continue that into E3 and beyond. But before we do, Gabe, how has your week been?
My week has been very cardboard heavy. Thinking about cardboard, playing with cardboard, having fights with cats and cardboard, all types of shenanigans going on. But besides that, decent.
My week's been pretty crazy. It's been pretty intense, but Labo has made things very nice. And these comments, I think, will make it nicer. So we are going to dive straight into Samuel Schwartz, who is replying from last week and says, the 3DS has two free-to-play games with microtransactions, Pokemon Rumble World and Team Kirby Clash Deluxe. So it is something that they could definitely do on Switch. And this is a great point, Gabe. We talked about free-to-play on Switch. Nintendo's already doing that on a smaller scale on 3DS. So as they experiment with mobile and as they experiment on 3DS, perhaps it is a little more likely than I thought on Switch eventually.
Yeah, I guess I personally didn't. I knew about the Kirby game. I didn't know about Pokemon Rumble World. Again, I've said this before. I broke my 3DS or lost my 3DS a long time ago. Don't know what happened to it. Haven't had one for years. So yeah. Do you think Nintendo does a free-to-play game on Switch eventually?
No.
No.
No, but I thought it was interesting that they are experienced with it. It is a possibility. To me, I feel like they view it a little bit as like there's definitely a reason why they're doing it on handheld and mobile instead of console, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like it sticks there.
Okay. Speaking of sticking, Ben Eberhart says 10:30 in a certain video. The CGI on Zach and Gabe cut out for just a moment, but if you pause in the right frame, you can clearly see that they are both secretly Spider-Man, and that's what I said. Speaking of sticking, Spider-Man sticks to surfaces.
This is meta on multiple levels. One, because you caught the glitch of the machine, Ben, in last week's comment for us. Two, you realized that we were actually Spider-Man, not Tom Holland. And three, you thought that we were CG before we were Spider-Man. So we're not even real right now, Gabe. This is all just a CG. This is straight from the hive mind of Nintendo. They have created two CG boys to blow the bugle of Switch on the daily. That just like blew my mind that we're CG creations.
All right. No, but I mean, I can explain the Spider-Man thing, I guess. I accidentally clicked a button on my mouse that made my second monitor, which is over there. But that's the one where I have the call with me and Zach with the green screens on back of us. That's the monitor that I capture to edit. And I clicked the button. That went to the desktop very quickly. My desktop over there is the Spider-Man selfie from Spider-Man, the PlayStation 4 game. Just in case anyone's curious, my main monitor, the background for that is the white and black Super Smash Brothers new logo in 4K. So that's very cool. But yeah, that was just
that 4K text, Gabe.
Yeah. Hey.
Really getting it into high def. No, but I cannot verify whether Gabe is a CG creation. I think I'm real, but if I wasn't real, would I know? If I was actually CG, would I know? These are the questions that I pinch myself at night to ask.
When a friend of mine came over recently, my friend said, "Hey, look, you're Spider-Man," because the person saw the Spider-Man thing. And I said, "Yeah," and the person says, "Why'd you take a selfie?" I said, "It's what I do." All right, so you're not the only person that thinks we're Spider-Man.
Am I flickering, or is it just on my screen?
Yeah, your connection's not great, but we'll do it. Yeah, we're gonna truck along here, Zach.
All right. Creep says, sitting at home and playing Switch games, GTFOH. We playing the Switch on roller coasters this summer. This gave me a great idea for another Switch in a strange locale video. We've done prison, airplanes, bed, roller coaster, theme park.
Summer should be coming, so beach, right?
Beach. If you haven't seen those videos, by the way, you should go back and watch. They're from the very early days of Switch Force, and they were very fun.
Yeah. God, I just got an idea for a very not family friendly Switch video at the beach. But
Labo on a mountain, Labo on a plane, dude. Labo on a plane. Can I bring my robot suit on a plane and do Labo on a plane?
probably not. They're not going to allow you. But
Why?
the video I made today with Raylan
Yeah,
and
it's a little bit like
Labo,
that.
yeah, that harkened back to like the silliness of those videos. I feel like. Also, I just want to say, don't play your Switch on a roller coaster. You're going to drop it.
I really want to try, like a low key one though, like a Disney roller coaster.
All right.
I think it's doable.
Red Mage 23 says, if Virtual Console ends up not being on Switch because of indie games, I will never buy another indie game on Switch ever again.
I picked this for a couple of reasons. One, it was interesting to me that a lot of people, once we voiced like, "Hey, what if Virtual Console isn't there?" got very upset. Like, no, it should come. It needs to be there. We're waiting for it. We want it. So I thought that the passion behind Virtual Console is still strong. And two, this like hypothetical clash of indies versus Virtual Console. It's interesting to me that, and I want to ask how you feel, Gabe. Would you pick nostalgic Virtual Console titles over indie if it was either or? If Nintendo came with a vote and said the eShop will either have indie games or Virtual Console games, you pick. Where would you go? Where would you go?
I hate saying unpopular things. I'd go with the indie ones.
Oh, I would too. I don't know that's unpopular.
Are you sure? People really like Virtual Console, dude.
And they should, but it's like new versus old. There's an opportunity to still get those games other places.
Oh,
I mean, you could say the same for indie, but
yeah. I mean, it reminds me. I need to ask you something off screen about future content, but yeah, because look, if I'm honest with myself, the games I'm going to get on Virtual Console are going to be A Link to the Past, which I've played like 10 plus times in my lifetime. Super Metroid, which I've played like 5 plus times in my lifetime. Like, and what else? Like,
this flickering, I must not be real. I'm actually CG, Gabe.
yeah, you are. Yeah, sorry for Zach's quality. It's an internet thing. I don't know.
To me, the kicker would be if Virtual Console included GameCube or further. Because if it just includes the traditional NES, SNES, N64, it's very easy for me to say, yes, I would take the indie games because they're new experiences, they're incredibly varied, and they often bring modern mechanics and modern game design with them. Games like Celeste, which is still a throwback to that era, can kind of fill the void of Virtual Console, while games like Astro Bears Party and Snipper Clubs can do things that are more modern. I don't know if it's unpopular, but I absolutely would pick indies over VC if it really was like a strict either or.
Yeah, I just think it would be unpopular because people are super into Virtual Console and you really want it to happen, and they're very angry at indies. So that's why I figured. But yeah, I mean, we agree.
Is it happening? We gotta talk about that. But in the meantime, we're gonna say next up a very interesting comment question from I'm making it a question from Premium Talk Football, saying God of War is going to win Game of the Year, calling it now. And I brought this up because Gabe, I wanted to ask. Last year was pretty evident that once Breath of the Wild came out, like that was going to get Game of the Year, and maybe Mario would challenge. But Nintendo had two great horses in the race, two very fine steeds that were just hustling along. Are there any ponies that can come to play that could give God of War a challenge from Nintendo?
Oh, wait, from Nintendo? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
So let's say they release a new Pokemon, and it has a lot of new systems. There's no chance that is in that running.
No.
What about Smash? If Smash is a new Smash 5,
A fighting game? Game of the Year?
fair. Animal Crossing.
No. We apologize for the flicker, by the way.
Yes, please forgive the flicker. Westworld Season 2, not sponsored.
Well, funny you said that. That's the only other game I think is in the running. Not Westworld isn't a game. Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be Game of the Year, not God of War.
I think it will be God of War or Red Dead.
I think you're wrong.
There's no way Red Dead has anywhere near as perfect of a game as God of War.
How do you know?
Well, just for the same one, like a big open world, like
which Red Dead is.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's far more room for error, far more room for mistakes, far more room for. God of War is like so finely crafted.
Before you played this God of War, you didn't know that it was this finely crafted. Like we know nothing. We haven't seen what this Red Dead.
Yeah, but
like.
I could have told you based on what I've seen of God of War that it was going to be in that category.
Yeah, but we haven't seen anything of Red Dead.
Fair. Back to Nintendo though. So there's no. You don't think that even a perfect Pokemon could capture critics' hearts?
No, not for the game of the year conversations. No.
All right, then let me ask it this way: is there a Nintendo game that could come out that would do it for you? That you could see taking it for your game of the year?
And you is this cheating on UIP? like, like
Something entirely new?
yeah, something like that's a known entity. Like no,
Yeah, because again, Smash being multiplayer, like I
and a
love
fighter.
Smash Brothers, but it's very hard for me to award a multiplayer game of the year. Um, Pokemon, like I guess I feel like Pokemon will be more similar than different. I could see for a lot of people though, if Pokemon does come through and bring in like a completely new vibe or at least a bunch of new mechanics, that could definitely be up there.
In the research that I did for the rumor video and whatever Pokemon videos I have in the works,
Hmm.
I didn't know this, but Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon aren't like very liked. The last couple of Pokemon games aren't like very liked by the Pokemon community. That's the census I get online. I could be wrong,
I
but
think that some of the upgrades, I think some of the upgrades that X and Y brought and Sun and Moon brought are liked. I don't know now in like 2018 if people feel that way, but yeah, it's an interesting conversation about what I think about some of the other games that are coming out and like that people want like, and not that you have to be game of the year, but like does does a Fire Emblem come out and be like is Pokemon the Nintendo game to beat if it comes out, or is it Smash, or is it like what's the Nintendo
I
game to
mean,
beat?
if you're talking only critically like game of the year, then I think it's all for naught. Honestly, I don't think there's a single thing that
But what about on Switch? What do you think is the critical front runner on Switch? Would it be Pokemon? Would it be Smash? Would it be something more like? Do you think Fire Emblem or Animal Crossing can come out and get like a 9, whereas Smash and Pokemon get like an 8.5?
I don't think Smash is ever getting an 8.85.
You think Smash is a 9 instantly?
Yeah,
What was the last Smash? I know this is kind of off topic, but I'm very curious now. What Smash's Metacritic was for Wii U?
I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say it's like a
92.
90. Yeah, I was gonna say like a 91. So
Okay, so yeah, so that's pretty darn high. So at that point, Smash will be one of the highest rated games of the year and could challenge.
remake, like if it's a
If
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And again, dude, like comparing, like no matter how good like your fighting game is, right? It could be like a 10 out of 10 fighting game. It's not going to compare to like the
yeah,
emotional like depth of like this new God of War or whatever Red Dead's going to do, or a number
sure.
of other releases. So
No, I agree with that. I think that makes sense. And just to give a little more, like recent Fire Emblems,
high eights,
high eights, but Awakening was at 92.
yeah, but
And I know that score doesn't mean everything, especially when it comes to Game of the Year. That's not what they're judging based on. All right, let's move on.
all right. So with that game of the year talk done, we're gonna move to Inabiff says more question marks. The console should have been called Nintendo Maybe.
And this is really important to discuss, I think, for two reasons. One, they do have a lot of question marks, and a lot of things that happen are like, we don't know. When's Hollow Knight? Is Dreamcast coming? Is Virtual Console coming? Is Pokemon coming? When's Yoshi coming? And a lot of times we take flack for covering it in that way.
Oh boy, do we!
But that is the hand that we have been dealt for the Switch. They have intentionally set it up to be this way. So us covering the hypothetical and discussing the hypothetical is only because that's how Nintendo set this up. If they were very transparent, if it was very obvious, if the plans and the program was very laid clear, I mean, we're going to be a year and a half into the console before we get online. We don't even know what's happening with streaming. We have no clue if themes are ever even a thing. Virtual Console is completely nebulous. The release calendar for the second half is missing right now. The question marks are honestly put there by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Intentionally or unintentionally.
It adds an air of mysticism to the Switch, right? It keeps the conversation going. So much of Nintendo's success has a lot to do with, people like us and like many other YouTube channels who keep this stuff going, because if we don't make these videos, if shout out to a few other channels that do the same thing we do, like what's the conversation about Switch if we're not keeping this going?
I think if Nintendo is more clear, I think there's only more hype. I think if it was like, hey, Smash in September, Pokemon in November, Yoshi in August, online will bring, YouTube and Netflix and themes, then I think to me, there is no world where being mysterious is better for sales.
It builds hype. It builds anticipation. Like the
For
fact,
the current base, maybe.
yeah, no, for the future one too. So the Smash announcement, like Nintendo doesn't like. I don't foresee a scenario where Nintendo pushes back Smash. Like that's coming this year.
No, for sure.
And there's a very limited amount of months where it can come, so that's barely a question mark. Like
sure, I just think like transparency would lead to more sales because if people knew, oh, Smash is coming here, oh, Pokemon is coming here, oh, here's when personally, I feel like that greatly impacts the Switch in a positive way. I mean, for a system that is doing so well, it is at times curious that there are so many elements up in the air.
I don't want to get into this, but I don't think maybe now they have a better idea. I think 2 months ago Nintendo themselves didn't know when Pokemon was coming, but I don't care to talk about that for that long.
It could be. But back to us, I guess. I feel like
The Spider-Man thing happened again. Sorry.
I feel like so much of the Switch is that we'd be remiss not to discuss it. So much of the Switch is what's happening in third parties, what's happening in the virtual console, that it is like the thoughts and the discussions that are almost invited by the console itself. So it's not like we're reaching here. It's not like, oh, say you're a PlayStation gamer, you're like, is Agent coming out this year? Like we're not reaching. Yeah. It's kind of by design that the Switch is like this, or at least that's how they have dealt the hand. Is we don't know much.
This is the topic of the week apparently, because we're going to talk about this for a little while, because I want to take us somewhere different with on the same course here. Sony, right? They have question marks. Mm-hmm. Like we didn't know the God of War date until like a couple months ago. Same with Detroit. Like we knew all these things were happening, similar to how we know there's all these Nintendo things happening. We just didn't know dates.
But they were more transparent in terms of like, hey, we got a lot of gameplay, we got a lot of information. Whereas like Metroid's like, yep, Metroid. They're working on a Pokemon. Smash has a mysterious trailer. We don't even know if it's new or not. Online, it's coming. What's in it? Virtual console.
Microsoft is also pretty mysterious right now because no one knows what they're doing at all. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah, okay.
They could be making a new Xbox for all we know. Yeah, it's
another one.
It's interesting. Full Metal Bat says, I hope for Pokemon they ditch the 2 games thing, especially if the games are going to start costing $60 and you got to pay for online. Buying 2 versions for $120 and an extra $20 a year for online, and maybe even $5 for Pokebank, it adds up. And this is interesting. Pokemon games previously, $40, no online cost. So for $80, you're getting everything. It is a step up to say, hey, you'd have to pay $140 to have the full Pokemon experience. Looking at it this way, Full Metal Bat, I do wonder if they drop down to 1 game.
Back to the unpopular thing. Sorry for the awkward silence. I was trying to collect my thoughts there. I don't want them to have 1 game. I want that tradition kept alive. Personally,
Yeah,
I just think it's cool. I think it's nostalgic, and you don't have to get both. Like you can just do you can do trading, right? Especially if the online is like vastly improved the way we hope it is for the console release.
Are there any console games that do this? Any?
That release like 2 versions?
Yeah.
It's a good
question. I can't think of anything. If you know any console game that ever has had 2 versions, let us know in the comments. Ever.
Hold on.
Because I know like Yokai Watch and Pokemon, it's kind of limited to just those things, I guess.
I'm in my head. I'm
Fire Emblem.
In my head, I'm like, there's more. There's more examples in my head. I just don't know what they are.
It seems like it's very much a Nintendo thing, very much a handheld thing, very much an RPG thing. Well, regardless, I agree with you, Gabe. I think it would be cool to have 2. I'm not buying 2.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of like, ooh, what do you have? What do you have? Just because I think it, like you said, it's the tradition of Pokemon. It keeps that sort of like, ooh, there's a few guys I can't get, a few guys you can get. The trades, it kind of just keeps that mystique or allure alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that for a number of hardcore players, like, hey, we want both 100%, but I don't think the intention is to be nefarious and be like, haha, we're gonna get $120 of your money. I think majority of players are buying one.
Yeah, like, okay, this isn't the name of the game, but like if it is like past and future, right? Like it even leads to a cool conversation. Like, Zach, which one are you gonna get? Oh, I'll get the other one.
Yeah.
Like it leads to cool interaction. So
And it's something that, like we said, like really only a smidgen of franchises do. So keep that part of Pokemon alive, I think.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if they do ditch the 2 games thing.
I wouldn't either. Random Ginger King says, well, now people like myself are going to buy it on another platform and they'll blame poor sales on the Switch player base for not being interested in the game. In reference to Dark Souls Remastered being pushed back to an unspecified summer date on Nintendo Switch.
And this was an interesting sentiment that came up. This fear that we're falling back into the Wii U days where it's a vicious cycle of delay, poor sales, can't make any more, not releasing the same time, poor sales, can't bring our next game. And it is a little worrisome. I think the Switch is a far stronger chance of avoiding that than the Wii U, obviously. I don't think that... I would hope that Bandai isn't looking at Dark Souls being pushed to summer as an indicator of what else to bring to Switch. But it does beg the question of if these games and these studios and these publishers and developers are not set up to have the most success on Switch, does it make it harder to keep coming back?
Absolutely, but publishers are not dumb. Like, they know that this is going to affect them. Like, I think that they adjust their expectations, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And they go based off of that. I always go back to this, but God, Xenoverse. I confuse Xenoblade and Xenoverse. Xenoverse 2 doing so well on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that says something. That game was out for a long time on other platforms. And
Sure.
the demand was still there on Nintendo. On Switch from the Nintendo fans. So, if Nintendo fans already, like, don't play this, like, anywhere else, then they're not going to anyway. It's just, they're going to wait regardless.
Yeah, and I think that's totally plausible. I do wonder, like, at what point, like, putting it out... Okay, there's 2 parts here. Putting out day and date seems to be the best decision, so these publishers have to want that. On the contrary, I'd be interested to see numerically if there is some bump from not having them out on the same day.
I can't imagine there is. What's the opposite of a bump? A pothole?
Well, but as a publisher, if you're releasing across 3 platforms, your ultimate goal is total sales. Is there a bump by having a delay or just putting them out day and date? And this, I'm just completely asking. I have no idea. But like, say for a game like, I know it was a terrible port, but WWE. Does WWE coming out on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One generate 10 sales, and then PS4, Xbox One, 2 months later, Switch generate 12?
I can't imagine why. Like, why? What would be the reason for the extra sales?
The small percentage of double dippers, and then the small percentage of people that it's just like another go at it, like another. But maybe it's outweighed by missing the boat. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an impossible thing for us to know.
I guess I have to imagine that these publishers want to get it out day and date because they ultimately want the most sales. And it's not like, oh, do we want to put it on Switch? It's like they want money, they want success. So if they can achieve that, they're going to. So getting day and date gets them closer to that. And that's what they all have to be gunning for.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I get this self-fulfilling prophecy. And unfortunately, in some cases, it's probably going to be a thing random. But I have to imagine that these companies' goals is to get everything out and be as successful as possible. And I guess the bigger problem isn't so much it not releasing and then the blaming the poor sales. The bigger problem is, why is it not releasing? That's the issue that I want to be tackled. Not this sort of, like, I want preventive parenting on the Switch, not reactive, right? I want to understand, why isn't this happening? And that is what needs to be fixed, because then all of this doesn't matter. And I have to imagine that publishers and developers are pushing for that. And whether it's working with Nintendo, better understanding of the system, better teams, a team, I don't know, but But that is what needs to be worked out. And all the cell stuff, I guess, like you said, we're never going to know.
Yeah.
C says, I have 2 4-hour playing journeys coming up, looking for something new to play for them. I loved Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, and Splatoon. Not too much a fan of 2D platformers. Didn't like the Kirby demo. Any suggestions, anyone? So long plane flights, and already got rid of, I'm going to assume Breath of the Wild as well. I'm just going to assume. So the main Nintendo games are out of the equation, and not a fan of 2D platformers. Where do we recommend they dip their time for something a little bit of a longer experience?
Golf Story.
Okay.
I
think that's a good one.
Yeah. Golf Story is where I would automatically go. You said you don't like 2D platformers. Like Celeste would be like my number one thing, but
right. Yeah, I would start suggesting like SteamWorld Dig, but again, if we're not going to do 2D platformers, then we're kind of out of that.
Oxenfree, short experience. It's like 3 hours. You'll beat it like in one of your plane rides, but. I recommend that game constantly, and during our streams, we have a number of people who say, "Hey, I played Oxenfree because you mentioned it, and I really loved it." So I would recommend Oxenfree, even though it is shorter. It's not a platformer, so I guess these games that we both enjoy kind of would fit in here. Enter the Gungeon.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
the roguelikes are really great for planes.
Yeah, Darkest Dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
And one more I want to give a shout out to. Look, I want Shakedown Hawaii to show up at some point, but in the meantime, you have Retro City Rampage. It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we didn't give it a whole lot of love on the channel, but I would throw Fire Emblem Warriors out there if you get it at a decent price. It's a game that you could probably get quite a ways into over 8 hours. And it's kind of more popcorny fare of like hack and slash, so it's not going to be as intense while you're on a plane trying to...
Battery.
Yeah.
That's going to eat up your battery quickly. These games, other games that were mentioned, not so much. So throw that out there as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of directions you could go. I guess it depends what else you like. RPGs. You loved Odyssey, Mario Kart, and Splatoon. If you have a friend on the plane, then it's a different story. Then I'm thinking like Death Squared. I think ARMS would be a lot of fun on a plane. It might get a little rowdy, but I think it'd be a lot of fun.
No, I wouldn't say ARMS.
Even with controller?
Nah. I mean, because you're doing the same fights over and over for 4 hours, like arcade mode, like you're not gonna play online, dude.
No, but like split screen. Not enough space.
Nah. I'm not.
All right, so ARMS is out. Fire Emblem Warriors, it might take some of your. Hey, if your 2-hour plane journeys are in 2 weeks, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze would be a great. Oh, you don't like dang. Shoot.
Golf Story, Enter the Gungeon, and Retro City Rampage. There you go.
They're all indies. I was trying to think of something a little bit more.
Wait. I mean, you can do Lego games.
Yeah, the Lego games are good.
Lego Marvel.
Yeah, that's actually a really good option. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
Dragon Ball. I mean, Dragon Ball Fighter. I mean, not Fighters. That's not on Switch.
Xenoverse, just because there's a lot of single player content.
Yeah, Xenoverse is another one. If you're into sports, NBA, 2K.
Mm-hmm. Doom, you can get through in 8 hours.
Absolutely. There you go.
It's gonna eat battery, but Doom would be good. All right, a lot of options there. Okay, Gabe, a couple more here.
All right, so JDXVX says, LMFAO, this is the biggest scam ever. 70 to 80 for a cardboard gimmick. Fools and their money are soon parted. Sadly, gaming in 2018 has a ton of fools. Have fun, dude. I had so much fun.
Honestly, and I was thinking about this.
I had so much fun.
Is it worth the price of admission to build? We both bought these their own money, and like I am weirded out that I almost say yeah, like that alone is fun. And I know it's like at the end of the day, probably like that's probably a lot. But think about it. Like you pay like in some cities $15, $16 for a movie ticket.
Most cities, yeah.
Hour and a half passive experience. I have been building the freaking robot for 3 hours and I'm not done. And it's been a lot of fun. And there's still a game on top of it. So gimmick, if it came built, yes. But this idea of building it yourself adds an experience. And I honestly think that you're paying for that experience. It's unique and it's fun and it's genuinely interesting. I don't know. There's something just like I talked about in the streams, like about utilizing tactile stuff again. I mean, I haven't been in school for a decade. So like, and I haven't been in little kid school for 2 decades. So getting to like just mess with stuff and manipulate stuff, I don't know. Like, in a world of cell phones and screens, it's kind of cool. And I have greatly enjoyed paying for hours of this, and I haven't even got to the games yet. And even if they're just okay, I think Labo needs to be compared more to like Lego than it does to like Mario Odyssey.
I want to say this
Because Lego sets are very expensive.
They are, but I mean, okay. I hope I don't go too long by when I start this. All right, whoever wrote this, he's a certain kind of person, right? Calling people fools on comment sections of YouTube videos. Cool, that's all right. This isn't made for you. Like, that's clear. That's as clear as day. Labo isn't for you, guy that goes into the comment section and calls people fools because they're having fun with Labo. This isn't for you, man. Go play God of War's out there. Same day, go get it.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I don't know why we need, as a society, as humans, why do we need to diminish other people, like, so often? Like,
very valid.
Like, if this is made for children, man. Like, if I had a son, a daughter, or whatever, this would be an amazing experience to have with them. Like, streaming it with you, watching you, a 28-year-old man, and I'm a 28-year-old man. I have a good time watching you stream it. Like, we're really tired and whatnot, and we're still having fun while doing this.
Right. No, I think it's super cool. And it's like, it's not like gaming in the traditional sense. It's not great and going to get 9s, but it's something that only Nintendo can offer. And like, hats off to them for doing something different and offering a different kind of experience that literally no other company is going to come close to offering right now in the game space.
I said this during a stream, and I know it's dumb, and people might hate me for it. I paid Variety Kit $70, $76 in taxes. My money is basically like good because I got to build the RC car for 10 minutes, and I played with my cat for 15 minutes with it. That like the feeling I got, like Zach knows. Zach, when I was editing the video, I couldn't stop laughing. Like that pure
about the experience.
Yeah, that pure joy is worth the money to me. Like it really is. And maybe that's dumb, and call us whatever you want. But I had a really good time. I'm gonna make it. What the heck? Oh,
I'm just like just having this and knowing I built this is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, like
it's pretty freaking cool.
And here's the one thing that people that haven't played Labo are instantly just not able to even connect with. What Zach just said. When you spent hours making something and you made that with your hands, it was a sheet of cardboard beforehand. Yeah. You feel like some kind of emotional connection. That might sound so corny to some of you, but I truly feel that way.
No, yeah. So it's not for everyone, but I honestly have been very impressed.
Yeah.
We'll wrap with this from DTemple87. We don't often do this, but this is a reflective question about the channel or comment. It's about your Pokemon video, Gabe. This is one of my favorite videos on your channel. Very direct to the point, not drawn out with 10 minutes of conversation about feelings and reactions. I wish more of your videos were like this. And I included this because we are definitely incorporating and bringing in more of that kind of content, more on-camera videos that are more of there's still a discussion, but they're a focused discussion, and it's more of a polished, presented idea versus just a back-and-forth banter. And we've noticed that you guys seem to really like those. Gabe has done a fantastic job on the presentation and sort of the behind-the-scenes of them. I'm going to be stepping into the fray on some of those soon as well. And I do think it is a great way to get specific points or specific ideas, specific conversations across in a concise manner. And I'm glad that you like that, all of you. And Gabe, I think, we are, as we approach 200K, I don't know if crossroads is the right word, but we are looking to further define what Switch Force is and to up the quality and up the ante. And I think that D-Temple is just sort of reinforcing what we've been feeling and thinking the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. The amount of work that goes into those videos, it might not be instantly apparent, but they took effort. And I'm super happy that people seem to appreciate that. And the few of those that we've done, people seem to be really in support of. They've done well for us. And the extra time it takes to edit, for a little behind the scenes stuff, sometimes if you don't properly light a green screen, it's very hard to get it to look that that way. It takes 30 minutes sometimes, just to make sure the color's right. There's a lot. So we're trying, and funny enough, we had a conversation about this earlier. It's just hey, we, putting more effort into things and maybe even having less videos. I mean, we're clearly still uploading every day, but more variety, you know, where we're on camera, and we don't both of us need to be on camera, because I feel like when we're both on every single video, it's a Zach and Gabe discussion. So when we're able to collect our thoughts and maybe write some points down and then just talk about it on screen in a very concise way, people appreciate the change of pace there, because we have over 1,000 videos now.
Yeah.
So
Well, and because we do have things like Comment Force like this here that provide more of a long-term discussion. Obviously, when a direct happens or E3 happens, we're going to have that long-form stuff. So it is nice to add and inject those shorter videos, especially when they're of such quality. So we definitely take your feedback. We definitely keep it in mind, and we're definitely going to keep rolling those out, and hopefully just get better and better. I think that's the goal, is to always improve. We're not really, I don't feel like we're satisfied with Switch Force. It's something that's an ever-changing, ever-evolving
and funny enough, those type of videos are like easier to plan out. Like I already have like 3 that I'm working on. Like I already have the topics, I already have notes. I just got to film them. So
Yeah. More of that. But that is going to do it for the comments for this week, which brings us to advice. Another small portion of our channel that seems to be really, really loved. So we'll keep that going. And Gabe, we will start with you.
Just okay. I'm gonna harken back to this Labo thing, right? Like, I don't understand why someone would go in the comments and you know, see someone having fun and be like, "Oh, you guys are dumb for." Be nice. That's my advice. Just be like, it doesn't hurt you to be nice, right? And even if you feel that strongly about it, which that's okay too. You don't gotta like throw it out there. What you throw out into the world is usually the energy and the karmic retribution that you get. So just I can't understand for the life of me why not just try to be as positive and caring, and why not spread good instead of bad? Like, it just feels so much better. Like yeah, I mean, it's simple and contrived and a little corny, but
I like it. And mine kind of riffs off of that as well. Like, life is meant to be enjoyed and meant to be experienced, and I think that workability is something that so often gets shifted to the background. Like, if you can make your experiences, your encounters, your relationships, your interactions, others, like, if you can make it easier and more fun, seek that. Ease is something that should be attainable. You know, there's a lot of complication, a lot of difficulty in life, a lot of crazy things, and a lot of chaos, and not everyone has the same situation, and not everyone has the same mindset. But if you can try and start putting yourself through and into the practice of, hey, what is going to make this happy, easy, fun? And I'm not saying shirk responsibilities or forget about things. I'm saying more, even if you have responsibilities, hey, try to look at them from a positive angle, because this is the day you got, and this is what you got going on, and you might as well seek that ease and seek that workability. And in interactions, you know, grudges and resentment, all that just leads to more negativity. And like Gabe said, what you put out, you get back. So putting out workability, putting out ease, putting out fun, putting out happiness. Maybe it's a little bubbles and rainbows for most people, but I really think it would go a long way in just increasing the overall goodness of our lives and of the lives of those around us. So that's going to do it for 57, guys. We are rolling through these comment forces, and we'll keep kicking them to you every Saturday. In the meantime, thanks so much. Keep those comments flowing. We love them. We're going to be doing some live shows at E3. I know it's still, 5-6 weeks away, but just wanted to start drumming that up. We'll be at E3. We'll be doing live shows there. And yeah, in the meantime, have a great week. Enjoy Labo if you're getting it. It's actually pretty cool. I think it's going to be a nice word of mouth type game that, like, as that spreads, more and more people pick it up.
Press loves it. Press loves it.
Well,
which is it's surprising, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a very unique time and a very interesting experience. So if you have a chance, go out there and have it. If not, I'm sure there's indie games coming out, and we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Always.
For a Pokemon Direct, it really feels like that's maybe a thing. Maybe. Possibly. So we'll keep you posted. Another week, another chance to love life and love the Switch, and we will do just that. We'll see you there, though. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch, and help us reach 200K, because we're very, very close. Follow the links to Twitter and Discord in the description down below. Have a lovely week, and for myself and Gabe, Switch Force out.